Satellites within the concave Earth. Wasn't sure if there really were satellites until I did some investigation, and I realized that there probably are satellites within the concave Earth. Initially, because they say the thermosphere gets to up to 2,000 degrees Celsius, I wasn't really sure if the satellites can get past that level without burning up. However, either that number is wrong or there's a way in which they can. Obviously, they're not as far as they say they are, especially the geosynchronous and geostationary satellites. But I do believe that they are there because what it testifies of is the actual literal octahedral pyramidal core to the center of the concave Earth, which originally I did think it was stationary, it didn't spin. Then I changed my mind, I had it spinning, but now I'm going back to that it doesn't spin, because what it does is it emanates out of the four base corners of the octahedron these four equilibrium equatorial points that are located on four specific points in the ocean along the equator at 90 degrees to each other. There's two stable equilibrium points and there's two unstable ones. And so what it testifies is that there's this magnetic levitation going on, especially within space, halfway between the glass sky and halfway between the glass celestial sphere. There's an equilibrium zone in which the geostationary or geosynchronous satellites hover. They actually levitate there, they stay there. That's probably where the asteroid belt is. I don't believe that there's thousands and millions of asteroids. If you ever looked at a YouTube astronomer taking pictures of asteroids, you only see like a couple. And when they do show them, they are not moving in sync with the stars, so they probably are in a state of equilibrium as well. So within the concave Earth, you also have these polar satellites that NASA or space agencies launch, and they orbit vertically around the pole. I only show two here, the green and the yellow, but there's probably hundreds more. I also have this magenta streak, which is indicating a space station. Possibly, I know there's a lot of good reason to believe that there isn't any space station, at least not a man-operated one. There's a lot of fakery going on. Look on YouTube, you see bubbles, or you see them flicking on a light and the entire Earth lights up. However, I do think they have something floating, even if it's not a manned object. They have some kind of empty tin can, probably a very small model of the space station orbiting within the Earth. Now, the reason why I believe that NASA terminated their space shuttle program and all these cutbacks was because of what they've done to the glass sky over the past 30 to 40 years. They've been continuously, not only NASA but other agencies throughout the world, poking holes through the glass sky when launching satellites or space vehicles. Poking holes. There is a direct correlation between the rise of megacry meteor falls and the advent of space rocketry when they began to exit the atmosphere. That has a direct correlation with the holes in the glass sky, which has a mantle of ice connected to the glass. Okay, now you also have to understand this. What has NASA done about this? Okay, think of their mindset. We've destroyed the glass, we've destroyed the sky. We've poked holes through it. We got to stop this. We're making this out to be a big glass bubble of Swiss cheese. We can't do this anymore. Okay, we got to cut back, right? We got to cut back. But we also have to do some preventative maintenance from the sky, from falling, the atmosphere from falling. Remember the White House jumper, whatever his name was, Omar? He said the atmosphere is going to fall, and the Secret Service intentionally let him into the White House, so they wanted to leak that information out. So you people can understand and listen to me, okay? The sky will fall eventually. It's not going to be by the holes or the weak spots that it creates. It's going to be by the sun actually stopping. Prophetically, it's going to stop, and when it stops, all that ice from the top of the glass sky is going to unravel and decimate the Earth. But in the meantime, NASA has taken steps in which to alleviate or mitigate this problem of the atmosphere. They have to hold it up. How do they do that? Okay, they have a project. They have a special project. It's called GLASS. It's an acronym. Global Land and Atmospheric System Study. They have to study the land, survey the land, and see where the weak spots are, and know where to spray the chemicals. There's aluminum in the chemtrails. Aluminum has a high heat capacity index. It's an endothermic way in which it can absorb all the anthropogenic heat, the man-made heat rising up. They don't want this heat going too high. They don't want it to collapse the sky or cause ice to fall prematurely. So they have to spray the skies. They have to monitor the weak spots in the atmosphere with this Project GLASS. and they have to find out where to spray. It's very simple, guys, very simple. So going back to this satellite diagram animation I did, this testifies the Earth is stationary. Okay, there would not be these 4 equilibrium points within the Earth if it was spinning. They say, oh, the Earth is spinning on and it's elliptical, so it's causing this whatever. There's 2 stable equilibrium points and 2 unstable ones. Okay, the 2 stable ones, the way I figured that, I measured the sea level depth of each point. Okay, and they're all 4 points are deeper than 3,500 meters. But there's a difference, a smaller difference in the 2 stable points, a smaller depth in meters than the 2 unstable points. So anyway, these satellites, they gravitate toward these 4 corners. The geostationary ones, they're pretty much locked into place there. Magnetically, the pyramid is emanating this magnetic levitation from the center. And these 2 stable equilibrium points act as a space junkyard for deactivated geosynchronous satellites, for rockets that burst the sky. There's a lot of space junk that just gravitates and just levitates at these 2 stable points. And then the geosynchronous ones they're still orbiting around the central circular equilibrium zone. And every once in a while they have to perform orbital maneuvers. They're called thruster burns, which is orbital station keeping, where they have to nudge it into place. They're much closer than they say they are, and there's not as many. And the further ones out, the reason why they're in the geosynchronous or geostationary orbit is because they're in that levitating magnetic zone halfway between the 2 glass skies, 100 kilometers, one at the central firmament. This is all coming together, guys. So when prophecy gets fulfilled, when the sun stops, you have a physical, scientific, logical understanding what will happen, what we need to do in order to prepare. So listen to me. The atmosphere will collapse. It will fall down very soon.